Hey, what's up, you guys? I think everything is a go here. Things looking pretty good. Hey, Sebastian. How's it going? Good to be back, right? Glad to see you again. Yeah, so we're in a special edition of the CAD Model of the Day show where it is Earth Day today. And one of the things that I wanted to show you guys is, one of the books that got me into like science in the first place, and immediately I have misplaced it. Let me see where I put it. Oh, it's over here. And yeah, so I think I'll do something related to Earth Day. I have an idea of what I'm gonna do, but if you have any ideas, I'm always happy to hear. Hey, it's Yaya again. How's it going, dude? By the way, that user group meeting, I believe, was recorded according to the leader. I'm not sure where it's being posted, but once I find out, I'll be sure to let you know. It was pretty good. Talked with Danielle Boyer, and it was more of like a more broad discussion of like how we got into engineering and how it's affected how it's affected our lives and how we use engineering to affect the lives of others. It was pretty good conversation, but if anything, before that was Dan Wagner, who did an excellent technical presentation. Basically, if you don't know Dan Wagner, he is a SolidWorks, basically tech support agent for a SolidWorks reseller, and he just basically gave a lot of great tips and tricks of stuff he's learned throughout doing cases. So it's really really great. And there is Melitrica with the or Melectrica. I promise. I only said it that because that's what they called you in the Kahoot contest. But we have Melectrica with that Happy Earth Day. She knows what's up. Yeah, it's good Earth Day, and I'm pretty excited. But yeah, let's first start off by taking a look what's in the Discord. And of course, if you're not in the Discord yet, I will give you a personal. Gross. Why is it linked to this? There we go. I will personally invite you to my Discord. I know the people who showed up is already part of it, but just in case you're lurking in the back and you want a really cool place to be, join the Virtual Flat CAD Discord, as we'll see in a moment. Oops. Using the wrong scene. Man, I only skipped one day of streaming and I'm already like really bad at setting up my stream. Yeah, bear with me here. But yeah, this is my personal invite for you to join my community here. But yeah, lot of things happened. So let's take it one by one. So this is where I announced that I was skipping the one day. So I really appreciate you guys, with your support and coming back after the one day break. It should be pretty good here. So yeah, let's start all the way up here. So wow, there was a lot of stuff. So Andy Made for Making says, just a question to get opinions, top down or bottom up modeling. And if you don't know what that is, that's okay. Bottom up assembly modeling means you make an assembly by individually creating each of the components, and then when you have all the components, you open up an assembly file, you put it all together. Whereas top down means you make part of the assembly, but you can create new parts within the assembly, and basically you model while seeing all the other parts there, and you can reference them. And we got a pretty even split, a little bit more to the favor of the bottom up. So I'm gonna put both, and for me it's situational. Sometimes with the simplest assemblies, it is nice to just like create parts one by one, just so you don't get too tangled up with references, and just put them together, and it just goes together like that. But top-down assembly modeling, of course, very powerful. It's how I do a lot of the flexible part animations you see on the channel. But yeah, Risky Bam saying, I currently do bottom up, but I'd love to learn more about top down. We should make that a point make that a point to put more examples. And you know, the reason I stalled there is I actually I just got an idea. I'm gonna create a new channel. I'm gonna call this channel topic parking lot. And I think I'll make it open to everybody, but the point of this channel here, edit, can I edit the description? Channel topic. Specific topics to go over on stream. Save. So what I'm gonna put here from Risky Bam. Now go over examples of top-down assembly modeling. So what I'm looking to accomplish with this is, you know, if you have like a topic you want to know about, just put it in here. So, you know, if I'm like, one day I'm like, gee, I don't know what to do, I can come in here and maybe create an example. So if you want to know about, like, you know, mold modeling or something like that, you say, can I have an example of mold modeling? Of course, this isn't a guarantee that I will go over it, but, you know, it's just like a central location that you can find all of the topics we want to see. I think it'll be pretty cool. It feels special. Yeah, no, I think that's really good. The only reason I'm putting it in a parking lot is because it's Earth Day and I have like a thing planned. I can't go over it today, but I don't want to forget about it. But yeah, it's good stuff. Yaya saying I choose both. Why? Because I use both depending on the project itself. Basically what I said, very situational. If it's complexity and whether I feel I need external relationships or not. I think that's a very you hit the nail on the head there, at least for why I, you know, tend to use both. I'm not, you know, all one side or all the other, you know? Andy saying he agrees with Yaya and he's been using top-down assembly with project consisting of many dissimilar components. Very nice. I find I can work quicker in this scenario. There are times where I require to go in the part file and say create a configuration. Yeah, I think that's a really good way to go about it. And, you know, and also, we know that there are the two main methods, but you can actually mix them around a little bit. Like, if you need to get an external relationship with a top-down, you know, you can edit a component from within an assembly, maybe convert a few faces from the assembly to get, you know, sketch entities, and then go into a bottom-up scenario where you open the part by itself and you see the two sketches. So if you want to put external relations but don't want to see all the components in the assembly, that's a thing you can do. Dang, the cam drawing problems are lengthy. He's probably talking about this. Yeah, so I also want to, you know, it's a good time to talk about. Yaya has added to our CAD exercise library. He's got 50 Solidworks exercises. Let's see if we can open that in a new tab, take a quick look at them. But yeah, if you're not part of the Discord, you know, again, I really recommend it if you're really trying to sharpen your skills. You know, we do have a few exercise-filled PDFs that, you know, you can try out your skills. Bro, does it want to load? Yeah, I'm not sure. Let's see. Oh, yes, I did open this before. Bestseller. Look at that. Yeah, so well, that's pretty good. So it's just a handful of random objects with corresponding 2D drawings. Yeah, so definitely check that out. Let's go back here. And this is hey Joao, I was reading your thing just now. What's going on? I have a doubt. I'm trying to make this model flash for 3D printing. When I apply the texture, it's a cactus as you can see, but the texture is not so good. There are some defects somewhere. Yeah. My doubt is there any, or your question is there any way to improve this for the texture to take this whole cactus correctly without these deviations? Yeah, Solidworks with its mapping options is, it doesn't have like a lot of mapping options. Sometimes you can play with some of the different options. For example, instead of putting project, you put surface. But yeah, SolidWorks, I feel like that's a place where it can improve a little bit. Okay, that's just me bot congratulating Draw for making messages. Yeah, there's like these weird double like artifacts. Some interesting geometry. How the tech, yeah, it's the mapping. I tried this from the front, it looks good, but when the side it got worse. Yeah, because that's projection, so it doesn't. It looks good from one side, but it stretches out because the surface is curving away. Maybe do it in sections, unless you take this into Blender and UV unwrap it. Yeah, I don't know too much about Blender, but I think Blender has a little bit more tools for that. So he tried to apply it in sections, and even in applying it in sections, you get some weird artifacting. UV unwrap, and then I posted the thing, and that was kind of it. Though I did see a render, so we'll get to that in a second. And yeah, well, if you missed it, no worries. It was recorded. It looks like. And actually, for the regular stream, it looks like Yaya passed out and woke up and found out how the stream had been canceled. So it turns out I'm a psychic or something. I was just giving you a break, Yaya. And I did look at this. This dude breaking Lucas's record. Yeah, this was 11 days ago. Youngest CSWE, as far as I know, he is 14. I think that is world record. I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna see if I can ask Mike Puckett or someone over at the what's it called, certification team to confirm. But I don't know of any cases of anyone who's younger than that. So that is incredible. Wait, does it have the dude's name? That's too small, too blurry. But that's really amazing. Maybe I can go track down this Reddit post, but no, I'll do that perhaps a little bit later. This is what I plan to make starting now, says Virus. I gavelled. That was actually one of the first things I made as well, and rendered. So it's very funny that I'm seeing this all over again. It's very nostalgic. I made a courtroom gavel. But yeah, I really like that. And I was saying, I'll just sit in a corner and cry with my CSWA. It stands nowhere in the grand scheme of things. Oh, don't say that, dude. We all you really do have to think about this like it's a journey that you're getting better little by little. You're practicing and you're learning new things by coming here and interacting with the community, logging onto the stream and see the dumb things that I do and try and make it try and make sense of. You'll get there, and sometimes you just gotta try and fail. Sometimes, like I failed a couple exams. I will very much readily admit that. Oh, speaking of exams, it's Yeshwanth, one of the dudes that became a certified SolidWorks expert, and I freaked out about it because it was so amazing. It's good to see you, man. It's been a little while, hasn't it? I hope you're doing well. Sebastian saying it's okay to fail. That's how you learn. Yep, 110% agree. It's really important when you do fail your exams, save your questions. It's very normal to feel ashamed of failing an exam and wanting to destroy the data, destroy the SolidWorks parts so you don't have to look at them. But I find that really is the best way of learning what went wrong, to look at it with like a non-rushed perspective, or even asking one of your friends, maybe ask me. I probably won't do it on stream because I don't want to show official SolidWorks parts on stream. But if you DM me on Discord, if you say, hey, can you take a look at this? I tried to knit surface and it failed. We could probably find out what happened. And Yashwan saying, yes, I'm busy doing my project work. Well, that's a good way to be busy, man. That's the thing. As engineers, we're made to make things, right? So if we're not making things, something's up. So that's really good that you're busy with your projects. I was saying I tried to check the SERP, but the image is kind of blurry. Yeah, maybe we'll go to the SolidWorks subreddit and see if I could track that down. Nureddin saying can't watch almost all the lives. It's okay. I do leave the streams published on my channel, so you can just pick them up at whatever your leisure is. And yeah, recordings, good stuff. Virus saying, has anyone used Autodesk PowerShape? I haven't personally, so I'm not sure what that is. But Matrix here saying, I've been missing in action because of exams. I love engineering, but I don't particularly enjoy tests. Me neither, dude. And actually, engineering work isn't like that. Like, no one's going to say, hey, here is the structure of an airfoil for an airplane. Figure out the nominal stresses on the wing. You have 1 hour. Like, no one will ever say that. You'll have time. You'll have a week. You'll be able to talk to other people. You'll be able to check your work. But with some of those engineering exams, it's like a lot of those times, like if I make a math mistake, for example, I will write a note pointing out, it's like, hey, I made a mistake, but I don't have time to go back and correct it and rerun all these calculations. I guess I'll tell a little story about that. So back in engineering school, there was this one particular exam where, where the midterm was, here's a bolt, it's loaded in tension with, this torque spec on it, find an appropriate bolt for this application, basically was the question. And, I did the calculations, and part of it is you need to know what grade the bolt is. Whether it's a grade 5 or grade 8, it's an indication of how the steel of the bolt is treated. And that affects strength calculations. And at first, I was like reading the problem. I read it twice. It made no mention of what grade the bolt was. So, as an engineer, I made the decision. Okay, I'm going to assume you mean grade 8 bolts. Those are typically the most common general purpose bolts. So I basically did all the calculations and I determined, it's like, okay, yeah, you need, 4 grade 8 bolts on each of the 4 corners. And I was literally about to hand it in, like 5 minutes left, literally about to hand this test in. And I noticed that there was a picture of the bolts itself. And I looked at it. And on the picture of the bolt was 4.8. That is the grade of the bolt. It's a grade 4.8 bolt. And I didn't notice it. And I did all the calculations. And basically what I just did was, I went back to my desk and wrote, I did all these calculations assuming a grade 8 bolt. I just noticed the grade was shown in the figure. I would rerun all these calculations with the new bolt, and then I just handed it in, and I got 48 out of 50 on that. Basically just 4% lost. So it's not about being perfectly right. It's about having the process. Because if I was in a work environment, it's like you're not rushing to get the work. You're rushing to you're trying to get your work right in the end, and that's really hard to. Test for in engineering school. But yeah, this is good stuff. All right, and this is where more of the fun stuff is. You know, I want to see Virus. You know, he gave a challenge to, uh, he gave a challenge to the Discord. It's like, can you make this thing basically unwrap until a spool? And you know, Yaya taking that as a challenge, he makes this. Very cool. I wonder if there's a way to make it wrap over a layer. But this is very, very cool. Right now, throwing it on later, so I didn't make the GIF looping. Full animation posted soon. How is this made? Breaking my brain. What if the rope disengaged from one spool? Yeah, this is very cool. And let's see, done. And also, yeah, I have with Discord, I have better luck with MP4s rather than GIFs. It's kind of strange, but MP4s tend to compress a little bit better. Yeah, if you're fighting with a file size. Yeah, like I can put like 10 second 60 FPS MP4s and it's like under 8 megabytes. But yeah, this is really, really awesome. I'll give that a little clap. There we go. There we go. I'll even wait. Where'd the little react thing go? Yeah, it's really quite weird because something that Twitter will do. You know. So, for example, well, I don't know if you wanna. I can get an example because I think I post MP4s every time, but if you get a GIF and post it into Twitter, Twitter actually converts that into an MP4. It's really strange. It's really counterintuitive, but apparently you can compress an MP4 far further than a GIF and still have it look good. Like even if it says GIF, if you run that like if you give like the tweet link to a Twitter downloader, it'll spit out an MP4. It's really interesting. Bro, I just noticed you named this riplucas.png. Come on, man. Why do you have to do them like that? That's too funny. But yeah, that's really fantastic work though. The final render. Ooh. Wow, that looks pretty good. I really like the way that came out. I don't say they look bad. I mean, this is a little weird here, like how the brass of the thing is meeting up. And I think the wood looks pretty good. Yeah, don't be so hard on yourself. It's good stuff. And Yayo's saying he'll send me the Reddit post. Okay, thank you, dude. And Alessio's here. Hey, Alessio. I missed you too. Won't be sent. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes YouTube is like angry about links by non-creators. So I'm not sure why that is, but ooh, very cool. Schmidt coupling. Wasn't there a recommended YouTube video about that? I think I saw it. Oh yeah, here it is. It's pretty cool. Maybe not the most practical thing ever, but that is very cool. It's also beautifully machined. That's very cool. A Fourier series. I've kind of wanted to. Oh, it's 8 minutes long. All right, you know I love you, dude, but you know I got a stream to work on. Yeah, but I've always wanted to make like a Fourier like approximation of a curve, you know, using mechanical links. I really love how this came out, Joao, by the way. I think you got the textures to work pretty well. I really love the hat too. Hat's very, very cute. And here's the thing that I posted. Usually I post this in general, but you know, I guess I was off my game a little bit. Just me getting back into the swing of things. All right, this appears to be the same except this. Could the coffee filter? Oh, so this is what I made. Drawing the corrugated shape and lofting with a circle. I would do it as a solid and then shell since I have no experience in surfacing. I can show you that. I don't think I modeled it completely efficiently because I was like really tired, but you know, that's basically how I did it. It's a very cultural hat from my region. Oh, let me take a closer look at that. So it is like the cultural thing, like the 3 stars on it. I really like the wood texture of it. Bro, your framing is nice too. It's just very well composed. You did a great job on this. But yeah, we can take a look at the coffee filter and gearbox. Actually, can I say copy message link? I'm gonna put this in the parking lot. Paste. Okay, I guess so I can click on that and it'll take me back to this. There we go. Chapeau d'Inde. I'm gonna say that wrong, so that's cool. I like learning about new cultures. Go. Ah, I've seen these. Well, that's very, very cool. And let me go back to show your work. Yep, there you go, fellas. That's awesome. All right, so I think that's most of the things in the Discord. You know, so I added topic parking lot. So you want to see it, you see a specific example about something. You know, you could put it here. Again, no guarantees that it'll appear or that I'll do it even, but it's nice to have like a list. And then Yaya, you know, adding to our CAD exercise library. Alright, so let's start with the coffee filter, I would say. I don't even have Solidworks open. What is this? This needs to get out. Get this opened up. Let's get the filter. Yeah, so I tried a couple of things. You know, I tried to get this surface here for me to project on. Surface extend, let's show. So I basically got this like cone shaped surface. And can't help but notice. Oh yeah, so let me look at this sketch. I had created this sketch, which is just kind of like a sketch pattern of the little like loopy things, and it's a just a style spline, and for the life of me it was just not able to project, because I wanted to project it on this cone shaped surface. So what I tried to do was project that sketch on this face, and it would just said failed to project curve. So, you know, us being, you know, certified experts, us collectively, you know, we think of different solutions, and my different solution was extruding this. You know why that extrude doesn't want to show. And let me hide the original revolve, so hide. So I took that shape, extruded it, so it did that just okay. I deleted the top face of this bucket thing. And then you see where it intersects with the cone-shaped surface? That's basically the curve that I want. So with that, I was able to create a 3D sketch. Let's go in here. 3D sketch. You know, I just went to intersection curve and grabbed the two surface bodies, and it produced this. and then I used a fit spline to make it basically one big old curve. Because you are correct, I actually did loft it from a circle, which is one curve, so it needs to be 1-to-1 to make the smoothing go together. Yeah, it definitely could be done in less features. Why is this like transparent? I'm gonna reset. Yeah, let me reset this. If I, oh, there we go. Eh, that works. Well, here I used a boundary feature, which, you know, basically the same thing. So from the circle to that 3D sketch that was originally on that cone. And here's another problem that I ran into. You know, I got this shape going, which I thought was pretty good. But you see how from the circle, the edge is sharp? I wanted a fillet here, so, you know, first thing I did try was, you know, adding a fillet like that. But I wanted it bigger than that. You know, I wanted it to be kind of extra round, so, you know, I kind of tried. And then it got to a point where I thought I wanted it bigger than that. And then you could see it starting to spin a little bit, and then you'll find eventually that it just does not complete. The geometry just is not able to compute that. And I'll show you in a second here how I got around it once Solidworks finishes having its seizure here. See, preview goes away, bad sign. Okay, and then let's see what, just so you could see what error it gives. Yeah, it's really thinking about that error, huh? It's really trying. Yep. Radius of the fillet is unable to fit within the surrounding geometry. That error. So what did I do? Well, I grabbed this curve and went to my swept cut. So what that allowed me to do was follow that edge and cut the diameter of the fillet that I wanted. So I could actually set this even larger, but I'll just leave it like that. So that's the diameter that I wanted. It wasn't letting me have it. So I ended up deleting that face. And then at this point, I closed this gap up with a boundary surface. So you'll see. Shoop. So that boundary surface, you know, set with both tangency to face. And that allows me to, you know, get a sort of curve, a sort of fillet. So it's not a perfectly circular fillet, but it does the job. It's a good fill. And then at the very end, you know, shell. So there was a little bit of surfacing involved in it, but yeah, you know, just being tricky, and just like I said, you know, part of being a SolidWorks expert is it's not necessarily avoiding errors altogether, although there's a lot of things you can do to minimize the amount of errors you get. You know, it's when you get an error, you have to diagnose the problem and think of a solution or think of a workaround. You know, this thing is due at the end of the day, and I got it done. So that's the coffee filter. Alright, so getting back on topic here, I want to show you a little bit about my book here. The Handy Science Answer Book. I had this book since I was like 6 or 7 years old. It was published in 1997, and as you could see, it's like really, really beat up, you know. I would read these things into the night and then eventually fall asleep on them. And it has a really great section on, you know, the environment. And even says, like, you know, for example, this. Oop, there we go. Who started Earth Day? You know, so it had a lot of, you know, it just has like a lot of fun facts. You know, I won't go too far into it. But I was like looking through this, and there was one thing that There was one like little question and answer that I saw. It's like, what is a Wobo? Here, let me show you. If I can. Oh, that's biology. There you go. No. Little bit this way. There we go. What is a Wobo? A world bottle was a mass-produced container design. Oh, it's getting blurry. I'll read it. A Wobo, a world bottle, is a first mass-produced container designed for secondary use as a building project. Basically made by Heineken. So I'm surprised it doesn't have any pictures in here. But I looked it up. And it looks like this. Oop. It's basic. Oh, I need to change my main stage. There we go. Here it is. This is a Wobo. It is a glass beer bottle that is designed to interlock together to be reused as a building material. I think this is really cool. And I'm surprised that it's not very talked about. Of course, you know, it's not like the most mind-blowing thing ever. But, you know, I think it'll be a good CAD exercise for today. So you can see its main features. It's got flat top and sides with some kind of like dimple texture, I guess, to hold on to like cement better. And the neck of the bottle fits cleanly into the bottom of another one, so they interlock very tightly. So I think it'd be pretty cool. Maybe get a little render out. But yeah, Brahmink saying pictures in 1997 probably came out of premium. I think so, yeah. But it's just like I looked at what is Wobo. It was like, you know, I didn't really think about that much. I probably just skipped it, to be honest. But yeah. Alessio saying, I am currently working on design optimization, topology, parametric with Solidworks. Have you ever tried? A little bit. When topology optimization came out, I did a couple of the little sample exercises, but I actually haven't used it in like an actual project or anything like that. And I think that is something good to add to the parking lot. Topology. I need to see if my SolidWorks can even do that. I know I have premium, but I don't know if I necessarily need like a simulation package to do that. But yeah, let me see if I can get a good picture of this for me to start off of. Yeah, this is very interesting. I'm just trying to think of an overall strategy that I can do. Yeah, so let's study this just a little bit. So the sides are round. It actually, if I try and like imagine taking out the, here, can I get this bigger? Open image, a new tab. There we go, and then zoom. All right, so let's study this just a little bit. You know, this, you know, I think part of being a good like modeler, especially if you want to do something like this, like model something from a picture, you need to be good with your perception. That is like looking at a picture and just like kind of recognizing what kind of geometry is in there, and you know, coming up with a strategy. So what I imagine is if I ignore the flat sides, like imagine like we already have this as a SolidWorks part and I take the flat side and say delete and patch, I would imagine this would turn into a perfectly like cylindrical like jug. So what I think I should do is basically get a sketch, you know, with a center line, draw the half profile of the bottle as solid. Like I would leave the making of the interior space for like the very last part. So I would revolve that and actually just use, you know, could use a surface cut or an extrude cut to make this flat. And that's the overall shape. I think what we can do, I'm just trying to think if there's any clever way that I can link the bottom to the top. I think I can do that in the sketch. How about this? Make a cuboid. You could, but I think I would get a little bit closer by making a round and then just cutting flats into it. Because with a cuboid, if you make like a rectangular prism that's close to this, you would have to then add a revolve cut at the top, sketched at the top, sketch of the plane that passes between the T diagonal edges. It's these. I think I know what you're going for. And I think it's one of those things like, you know, one method might produce like, you know, a handful of features less than the other. I'm not sure which one is which. But, you know, I can only think in my brain. But I think I'd be interested. Like, if you want to try, you know, I think that'd be interesting. You know, if you want to use SolidWorks at home and try it out on your own and see what your feature tree looks like and how it compares to mine, you know, post your results to Discord. I think that'd be pretty cool. So again, that is to find it, Google or just search for Wobo Heineken, like the beer, because that's the company that made it, and you'll see tons of pictures of it. And I think that's very, very cool. First, I just want to paste this picture in here so we have it for reference. Yeah, but what I'm thinking is, this is going to be a little bit tough. I might make the origin the center of this dip in here. So I would come out and then do that. So I would make this as simple as possible for yourself. I would actually I would add these lip features last. Because what I think you should do is nail down the shape of the bottle, then shell it to make it hollow on the inside, and then you can add these lips afterward. Because if you do it before, it's gonna try and shell the little, you know, the little dimple in there, and it's not gonna. It might not even complete, or it's just gonna be like extra complicated geometry. How tall is this bottle? I have no clue, dude. It's Heineken. They're in the Netherlands, so let's do it in millimeters. Why not? I'm gonna say its height is 150 millimeters. That might be way too tall, but whatever. We'll start. Yeah, we'll just start with a solid line. So 150. Go, get a line, maybe come out like this. And I'm trying to think, do I want to include these little fillets or do them afterwards? That is the question, huh? Yeah, let's come down like this. Here, let's see if I can add the fillets after. Oh, I got a lot to fix here. Oof. Big oof. Yeah, it snapped. That needs to go. That. Okay, so we're looking pretty rough, but that's okay. So in order for this to fit in here, I'm gonna give it a little bit of extra space. Maybe, well, maybe not as close as 1 millimeter. Maybe I'll give it 5. We can adjust these numbers. Check Discord. He says, oops. So 1. Yeah. But how would you make the sides curved? Like this. I think it might be a little bit of extra work to add it. And so far so good. So I think we need to determine the height of this neck. Maybe 25. And we can also, let me get a center line, infinite length center line, about here. Maybe make that 40, so making the bottle narrower. And this, 120. I'm gonna guess, honestly. Maybe this can be 120. Like that. Okay, let me check another picture of how they nest together. I think there's gonna be another clue. This is a picture. It's kind of blurry. So it looks like it is literally just the neck portion that goes in there. So the curved part is exposed and there's this kind of like wedge left over. Oh, whoops. Solidworks got really long for a second. Let's get back to it. Here we go. So this and this, I will say, equals this dimension. That'll bring that down, and I think the last thing to define here is just the angle of this line. Say 20. And that is fully defined. So just by kind of simplifying the bottle in your mind, will make this a lot easier to fully define. But I say let's go feed it to our revolve. So it looks something like this. And then now we can add some fillets. They actually might have to be different sizes because 30 looks good here, but that's way too big. Like that. Multi-radius. Maybe I add 10 there. Or 15. Yeah, and these are values that we can play around with. And then what we can do now to make this cut could be any number of ways, but what I think I'll do is right plane, and I might have to roll back beforehand. I'll do this. The height in there, and that way I can actually control how much gets lopped off. So like that, and then I can say extrude cut through all both and make sure to flip the direction like that. And you can kind of see like how the geometry is starting to see, like this curve here is very similar to this one. So I think I'm on the right track here. And that probably needs a fillet. Yeah, I might have to test out a fillet because you notice I didn't fillet this bottom edge here. But hold on, let me adjust my chair. It's not very comfortable, unfortunately. So the question is, do I fillet this before and then cut and then fillet after, or do I cut and then try and fillet everything together? Let's just try it out. This picture is in my way. It is very much in my way. Features, a cut on the other side so you get something like that. Let's see if I fill it. Yeah, it's way too big. I think it needs to be narrower and taller. But I think this behavior with the fillets is pretty good. Maybe a slightly bigger, back 15 maybe? Yeah, let me fix its, we're getting somewhere. Wobo. So instead of 120 in width, let's just go for 100. And then instead of 150 height, let's try 175. Okay, but now the flat's not large enough, but I can change this by saying instead of 45, let's try 35. Oh, that's looking much better. I think that's looking a lot closer proportion. Maybe 40? Gross. No, I don't like that. 30? Fillets failed. 35. I think that one was pretty close. I don't know, it does seem a little bit thicker. Part of me, wait, let me turn off ambient occlusion in real view. Oh, I almost lost my picture there. Make the neck diameter just a little bit smaller. Let's try, let's make this gap 1 like I originally had, just so I can fix that behavior down there. And then instead of 40, yeah, I wish I had one of these bottles that I can measure, but next best thing is just to, trial and error. It's a bit better. Let's roll back up. I wonder if I could even, I don't know if this is too much. Yeah, we're getting a weird behavior down here. And I think this really needs, this like edge needs to be a bit longer. Let me take that, try 40. I tried that before. Might be splitting atoms. 37.5. I mean, I could smooth that over with a surface patch too. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, I think I like 35 the best still. I might try and take care of that weird behavior with like a surface patch. How about at the angle of the shoulder? Oh, that's another thing I could look at. I think it's pretty close, but let's play around with it. Oh, that's interesting. I think that helps a lot. That looks, I think that immediately looks a lot better. So 110 the other way. Nope, that's too much. I think 125 might be a hot ticket here. It's not bad. I think I'm gonna roll with it. I know it's like not quite there, but you know, without having the bottle in my hand, it's just kind of tough. But what I'm more concerned about, so let's view some surfacing, and we have our curved sides. Check Discord. Oops. Internet failed. Yeah, not bad. The only thing I would say is that it appears to be like if you look a little closer at the bottle, you can see there's a lot gentler of like a tangency here than this. Like this looks like a sharper corner. And they appear to be like kind of equal here. And again, I mean, I'm not busting your chops for no reason. It's just, you know, that's the things that I notice. It's like at least with this, you know, you can get a large fillet here and a smaller there. And remember, they do have one side does have to be flat, you know, for them to function as bricks. Let me see, view, display, phantom. Let's see what we've got here. I wonder. So let's get the top. Let's convert these. Go all the way like. Oh, doesn't like it. Ooh, that's. The plot thickens. Yeah, let's not convert. Bad idea. Let's get a line instead. Let's do that. Do that, and I'll get rid of that. Rid of this. So with that, let's see if we can try to split this. Perhaps a bit of this face too? Okay. And then what I think we can do, let's try use our delete face command. Delete face. And just delete these. And say delete and fill with a tangent fill. See what that wants to do. Feature could not be created. Alright, that's fine. So what I think I'll do, and let me take care of these. Oh yeah, I have to set it to just delete. There we go. Like that. Yeah, let's try it out. Surfaces, boundary. We do have a four-sided patch, right? So, let me get my selection manager. Okay, that does recognize to be tangent, which is good. And for direction 2, hang on to this. You hang on to that. Let's see if it'll throw a fit if I try and do this now. That seems to be working, I think. Curvature display. Can we have a mesh? Actually, I don't really like the way that's coming out now that I see the mesh in there. Let me see if I might have to put an intermediate curve. Here, let me try and add this in there. Like, it's a pretty good surface, but it's doing this puckering thing, which I don't necessarily appreciate. So let's get a sketch on the right plane. And actually, before I do that, Control T gives you flat tree view. Let's just go right before the boundary surface. Section. I like to section about the right plane so I can see a little bit better. And then sketch on the right plane. Let's try and get a spline. Let me try and get a style spline like this. So this and that should be pierce. This and that should be pierce. And let me see if I can do this. If I click on the spline itself, the edge and the surface itself, we should be able to get tangent face. And it does that the other way. Boo. Sometimes that works, sometimes that doesn't. But instead what I'll do is I'll grab these two faces and say intersection curve, and then immediately turn them into construction. The other side needs to go. Let's say that is collinear. And this, since this is a flat side, you know, I don't even have to do that. I should have just made it vertical like that. See if I make this horizontal. Let me see if I can bring back the OG sketch. I think that's this one.
You'll need to unlock your iPhone.
Oh gosh, Siri, don't scare me like that. Get out of here. What in the heck was that? I don't know why Siri was... Siri thought I was trying to call out to her. Yeah, I don't really have a convenient point because it's on a different... Well, I mean, I do have... So if I do that, get a center line out like that, and say that these 2 points should be on top of each other, and then this and that should be tangent, and that should be fully defined. So if I do that now, and then give it to my boundary surface, what does it do? That's the question. So that is in the direction 2. So if I do this, it's going to error probably. Not so much. But what I might try and do is put yet another guide curve. What if I actually, if I do normal to profile, does that help any? No, not really. Now it's got 2 little thingies. Alright, let's go back. Do that. And how do I want to do this? I want an extra, like, kind of straight line curve for it to follow. Let me not overthink this. Let me just sketch on here. Yeah, this is gonna be resting on the ground, so I think if we have a spline touch this and then touch the other side, just bring this out to show that it is indeed a spline. Get a point, and what happens if we pierce it to, say, that? Doesn't like it. Yeah, I thought so. I might have to go back into this sketch, put a point here maybe, and then say that that is coincident to that, so that'll be right at the contact point. Go to the new sketch. Now I should just be able to say coincident. Still doesn't like it, which is interesting. let's just try and rerun it with a new spline. All right, let's just try that. We're experimenting, fellas. So that will go in the blue category. And this needs to be rearranged, although it's not really letting me do that. Okay, so let's try from here to here. Good, good. Honestly, we could try that and then a fill surface for the rest if it doesn't work out, because that looks pretty good from here. And that might be what we have to do, but let's try it here. Let's not jump to conclusions. If we add that, does the sadness begin? It does. Alright, then we'll just roll with this, saying that should be tangent, 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 and I'll leave that on none. And then, now what it can do is not another boundary surface, because now we have a overall two-sided patch. It's going to be annoying. Yeah, let's get the edges selected. And then like that. And then set apply all, say tangent, uncheck optimize. That is actually looking pretty good. And I could even say constraint curves if I really wanted it to conform to that. There we go. Although it's doing... Oh no, it's not doing the puckering thing. I mean, it's just following the curve. That's what it's supposed to do. And I'll uncheck merge result, because what I'm hoping to do... That's looking pretty good. Methinks. I've seen this fail and I've seen this work, but if I take these two bodies and bring them over to the other side like that, hide. Yeah, surface modeling is cool, Alessio. I really love the problem-solving aspect of it. Create solid. So it's definitely displaying a sharp edge, but if I take display tangent edges removed, we do see that it is, like, you know, pretty smooth. So that's just a little bit of surfacing for you. As I get to my drink, I still need a fillet for this internal one. This one shouldn't be that big. Oh, why is it so small? Did I put 0.5 instead of 5? I sure did. Maybe it's a little smaller. There we go. Not bad. And then now we can shell. Hey, Garlic Trader's here. What's up, my dude? Happy Earth Day. I totally agree. Yeah, happy Earth Day to you, my dude. See what that looks like. That, of course, completed with no problems, which is awesome. Awesome sauce. Which is typically, 2 millimeters is typically thicker, but I still have to take care of those lips there. I mean, I could probably do that in one sketch, huh? I don't mean to flex, but Earth Day and I share the same birthday. That's awesome, Garlic Trader. Happy birthday to you, man. How old do you turn? And I'm really honored that you're spending part of your birthday with me here on stream. That's really awesome. And Bam saying, it didn't like my link, unfortunately. I'm gonna see if that's a setting, you know, because y'all are pretty civil people, and if you know if I can allow people to just post links to their stuff, I'd do that. So I have to look into that. But you stuck it on the Discord. I've done the first 5 from Yaya's PDF while I was watching the stream. Awesome, dude. Here, well, here let's make sure this is saved. We'll take a quick break and we'll take a look at it. Yeah, here you go. You got your Instagram. Let's take a look. Ah, sick. That looks pretty good. I mean, I didn't look at the exercises so much, but I did see the first couple of them. This looks good. Here, let me follow you too, dude. I'll so be the first one to like this. That's a privilege there. It's actually the 23rd where I'm living now, but I would have dropped by anyways. Oh yeah, awesome. Yeah, time zones. You're 25. I'm 27, so you know, could have been friends. You know, if we went to the same college or something like that. But yeah, awesome work there. You have anything else? Oh, you do have other stuff. This looks really good. I like waffles. Oh, this is pretty sick. You're pretty close to actually having it match up, dude. Man, I wish I knew how to weld like actually. And that's really, really cool. You know, that could be a CAD model of the day one day too, if you don't mind me stealing your idea. Because you can figure this out with weldments pretty easily. You know, definitely one of those days that, you know, if I'm looking for something a bit lighter. Alright, so I still need these dots. I still need this ellipse. I can probably give a material to it. I don't think that'd be so harmful. Glass. Yeah, Brown Mink also noticing the chance there for using weldments. Yeah, we probably said it at the same time, you know, basically when we look at it, but there's the YouTube lag. But that's so good. Like, you know, that's awesome to see. It's like you look at something, it's like, oh, I know an easy way to model that. Let's grab the front plane now. And again, I'm gonna have to keep guessing. Oops. Yeah, that side. Yeah, I'm gonna have to be careful here. I think I'll start with a line. And I'll pierce it to the inside. And the reason I'm doing that, so let's do this. Let's pierce. Take this actually and say intersection curve. Gives you the line of where this crosses the sketch plane. Remember to delete its brother because that'll cause you problems if you don't. But what this allows me to do when I revolve this, it allows me to grab, it allows the feature to merge with the relatively thin neck here, just to make sure it all merges properly and you don't get any silly zero thickness errors. So that looks like kind of like an arc. Yeah, and actually I could also be pretty well served by grabbing the intersection curve of the outside as well. Delete. Uh-oh, that got... Oh no, we're good. I ripped that off. Yeah, so this little part where I assume it goes back to the nominal thickness, I can represent with this. Yeah, let's just try that for right now. It might not actually be that, but, you know, live and learn. Ma'am said it the best. You just live and learn. Yeah, and I have no basis for these dimensions, I'm guessing. And let's make this not as large, maybe 4. And remember, that's in addition to the thickness, so it's sticking 2 millimeters out. That needs to be right under that. And I think that should make that feature. And then this one is almost like a conic, honestly. Does it merge? Yeah, it kind of does. So if I grab a line like this, and say that it is coincident to that, that locks that in place. I think that'd be kind of funny using a conic, but let me, you know, finalize some dimensions here. Maybe I'll say 3 instead. And conics don't get a lot of it. Oops, not sketch text. Rip. Conic. So from here to here. And get the row value. So I can pull this out more because it is kind of like almost teardrop shaped. Like half of a teardrop, like this curve here. That's what I'm perceiving at least. So maybe we can take that point and this one and say make vertical. I wonder if I can say this and that to be tangent. Wait, do they? Yeah, I would say it goes kind of straight in. Can I say tangent? Okay, that's pretty cool. And I guess the last thing is like how teardrop shaped is its character. I don't know what this takes. I guess just a linear dimension. Sure, make it 8. Doesn't really mean anything to me. I'm just trying to model it till it looks right, of course. And that does make an closed contour. I'll drop the center line, make that infinite in length, and revolve. Like that. Honestly, not bad. I think this could stand to be filleted. Small fillets. Like that. Hey, it looks pretty good. I think this looks a little too sharp, but I think I'm just gonna leave it. Whew, now it's I think this is going pretty well so far. Too well. Oh, I just realized I goofed up with the offset of this. I need to offset it an additional millimeter. So I need to sketch 2. This might ruin some of the surfacing. Let's see. So this needs to be at least 2. Because that's where the necks go to. Even 2.5. Alright, let's see what the damage is, fellas. Crossing my fingers. It's rebuilding. Are you kidding me? Bro. No rebuild errors. That's actually really amazing. I actually made this like larger. Oh my god. Am I actually good at SolidWorks? It's kind of hard to believe. Saving that. I was expecting the apocalypse of my feature tree items. Alright, but now comes well, these dimples. And I think I could probably use that. I can do that with fill pattern. So let me try to make like the boundary would go in like this. Oops, I snapped somewhere. I didn't mean to do that. That origin being very annoying. So that with the origin vertical. Sometimes you gotta pick it from the list. Pick it from the list. Did have a Fusion 360 render somewhere, but that's before I really knew what I was doing. You gotta start somewhere, and I gotta see. Like I used to do renderings in college, though. I don't know if that's been lost and forgotten to time, though. I have to see if I can find some of those old renders so we can all point and laugh. Well, you gotta start somewhere. So that, why is the origin legitimately unpickable? So like just a little bit more, and that's just kind of, it's just kind of an educated guess of where the dimple feature should go. Let me turn tangent edges as phantom. Split line. Let's just test out this face for the time being. And I know that dimple. How should I create that? Let me check out fill pattern. I need to see, because I know it can do its own features. It can do faces as well. So that's another option, is to... Yeah, another option is to split face with a small circle representing a dimple. And for that, and to change into an actual dimple, I can use the dome command. That'll create a singleton face that I can feed into this box. And then perhaps get into a grid pattern. Let's try that. I'm not sure if that's going to work. And actually, before I do that, let me get a point right on the centroid. So I'll do it like dead center. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to have to move this around, but we'll see. So it's about 10, I would say. Yeah, because there's 4 to a row. Oh, maybe a little bit smaller, actually. 6? Let's try that. So what I'm suggesting we can do is a split line between this and this face. So that makes this little doodad. And then we can just search for the dome command. Oh god. I asked for a dome, not a pimple, dude. Turn that down to 1. And that's kind of what we're going for. Does elliptical dome make it look any better? The edges are a little bit more straight out. Yeah, I guess we want that. Sure. I'll leave it on elliptical dome. Okay. And now what I'm just not sure about is, now that we have this little dimple here, this little knob, how does fill pattern deal with it? So fill boundary, I put this, and let me play around with that. We want a grid. Bro. Oh. It's a spacing. 10. Let's just try that. And it's a grid, so 10. I could also linear pattern, but I'd like it to be centered about here. And the margin I want to set 0. Oh, no. Well, that was kind of what we want. This. Okay. Good, good. Oh, no. 15. 12. 12. 12. playing around with my values. That doesn't do anything. How many are there? So there's row of 4, so 3, 6, 3, 6, 9. So it has the correct number of rows, but not enough columns. Make that 10. Stop it. Why are you so weird, dude? Actually, I think it would have just straight up been less time for me to just do a linear pattern. I was just hoping this could save me some time. But it does not seem to be working out like that. Oop. Being real weird. And there's nothing. Well, or instances per side. Maybe. Hello? Alright, plan B. We're gonna set up a yeah, let's do a sketch. Yeah, that was kind of a waste. You know, sometimes you win some, sometimes you don't. Yeah, so in fact, I don't need this split line. Dome needs to be, depends on point 1. So let's do this display external goodbye. So I should be able to turn that off, turn this off. And this needs to be relocated to this. Turn on. There we go. Split line fails. It's not letting me out. Oh, you're missing your sketch point, right? Go here. I already told you this. Take that, split into there, and then just dome it again. And now I should be able to adjust wherever this is. See what it can do. Center line, like that. Let's try segment to help me find the starting location. My brain is small. I forgot how many. There's 4, right? Yeah, 4 equally spaced. So we can do that. And then actually, what we can even do? Do that. Segment. Let's say 9. Well, I need the ends of these. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So there's actually one too many because there's the number of points, but also I'm going to include the endpoints in this one. So 7 plus 2 is 9. And then say that oh, that's poop. I'm going to have to do this kind of manually. So that's a driven dimension, and then this will equal that. And I think all it's kind of missing now. So how's this kind of centered? So this is actually like it's tending more towards the top. So do that, and I can kind of play around with the value here. So now I know when I go 4 in this direction with this spacing. So that's going to be important, but because I have this here. All right. Because I have this, should be able to get my linear pattern go into the right plane direction, other way, features. Just going to first get this split line feature, so that appears. I'm trying to think. Split line and dome? I can do both, right? Yeah. So this equals that. 4. And in the top plane direction equals this as well. Other way. 9. The face selected for the dome feature. Ah, you son of a biz nasty. What if I just do the face? Happiness. There we go. All right, took a long way to get there, man, but we getting it. We getting it. To get them to the other side, let's just see if a mirror will work. Mirror features, and let's see if I can feed linear pattern into there. Strangely missing the seed. Gross. See if that helps. It did. Alright, boys and girls. That's basically our bottle. I'm gonna do some rendering. Yeah, nothing too special. I'm just gonna use PhotoView 360, you know. So let's display phantom. Let's get rid of this. We don't need it anymore. I have a flat face here. Yeah, because the shadow's in the wrong place. That's going to be a problem. Scene, edit scene. Instead of the bottom view plane, selected plane. I probably should have turned. Hello? Offset to geometry. Offset. Did that work? No, it's still floating. This is actually the first time I've had it not work, which is interesting. Oh, floor offset. What are you talking about, Willis? Okay, now you're just being silly. I swear. Oh, now it actually put it like that. Great. That's an interesting artifact. I don't know if that's just graphics or is that actually in the model. That's very interesting. Yeah, this, I'm gonna remove the appearance because the transparency is throwing me. Oh, so it looks like we did have some problems here. That's not good. Yeah, looks like the boundary surface is okay. The surface fill is puckering, like, very badly. Let's take that out. That might be too much for it, honestly. Just let it fill up the way it wants it to. It's already looking better. Okay, that seems to be alright. Very strange. Let's try and put the glass back in. Okay, the artifact is gone. That's good. Oh yeah, and so I guess that artifact also caused like that glitching with the floor plane. You see the floor plane just fixed itself. Interesting. Alright, but that means we can go to add-ins, photo view. So I think it'd be pretty cool to just get a render of the bottle itself, and then maybe I'll put like 3 of them together and then render that together too in like an assembly. Alright, and let's go to render. First I like the preview window. Oh yeah, let's turn some of this on. Alright boy, here we go. Let's get this centered up. And now let's do preview. Not bad, but the glass can actually stand to be darker. So let's compress that. Go here. Appearances. I don't know why there are 2 of these now. Okay. What I'm gonna do is go to the HSV and just add more black into it. There we go. Maybe a little bit more green in there. More black. I need a reference image. Honestly, I think it needs more yellow. So let me change the angle maybe to 110. $109. I think still needs a little bit more yellow. Maybe 105 even. Oops, that's... Well, actually, 100 looks pretty good if I increase the amount of color in there. Maybe just a little bit more black. Oh, that's actually looking really close now. So that to that. Yeah, I'm not an expert color matcher or anything like that, but I do like to try and get it close, you know. Boing. That. 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 Or that. Alright, so I'll stop shaking this window. That's good. And now let's change my controls here. I think the next step is to rotate this bottle into an attractive position. Like here you can really see the dimple on the inside. Google says RGB is 0, 127, 45. We can check real quick what I got. I mean, I'm pretty happy with what I have here. So if I change from... Yeah, change back to RGB, back to HSV. So, a little too much red. No, I kind of liked it better before, actually. Yeah, I think, you know, part of it is the brand guides, but also, you know, like, since we're trying to, like, make this like physical bottle, you know, you'll get like, there's definitely like a little bit of yellow in there. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it with the color I had before, but that's a good call though. You know, it could also get this and then color pick it, but the thing is there's like a lot of highlights and shadows. It's like it's gonna be hard to pick the proper green for this. I really like the way this is looking. Yeah, I'll probably get it like that because I want to separate the dimples a little bit so, you know, it's a little bit more obvious what it is. So do something like that. Kind of center it in the frame a little bit. Alright, I say let's just send this to final render. And let's watch my computer melt as it tries to render and stream at the same time. Yeah, CAD Model of the Day has been a lot more fun ever since I started like hanging out with you guys, you know, doing the stream. So I really appreciate you coming by. And there's the mouse pad I did yesterday. Waiting for the little squares to eat my picture. Alright, while it does that, maybe I'll read you a fact or two from the book. Even though it's like already almost done. Are turtles endangered? Worldwide turtle populations have declined due to several reasons, including habitat destruction, exploitation of species by humans for their eggs, leather, and meat. Yeah, that's pretty sad. Looks like we got this, so I think this looks really good overall. Could be better, but you know, delivery over perfection. And leave this and say, let's make an assembly. So new, let's get rid of that. Save, file new, assembly. Oh, it's fixed. Need to pull this out a bit more. Float. Let's get that on the top plane. Okay. What's that? Let's get that in the front plane like that. And the origin on the right plane. Sure, just to give it somewhere to start with, but I do want it to be prone like this. So I can get another one. And let me see if I can do this. This might be a little tough from this angle, but if I do this, for example, and say this to this, can I say profile center? Oh, I sure can. Very nice. And then I could say parallel. Dude, that's pretty good. Like that. We'll just kind of rest it on. I wonder. It's gonna be interesting. If I do that to this and say perpendicularity, and then I say the dome. I said the dome to this tangent. Oh, anger. Yeah, I'm probably just gonna have to say this to this distance 1 millimeter, the size of the dome, because they're not going to sit perfectly flat on each other. And then I probably gotta stagger the bumps a little bit, which actually kind of works out pretty well. It's not so bad. Let's give that a save. Wobo asm. I think we still got this up, so let's get a preview window. I don't think I have to do the color finding again, thankfully. Just gotta get a good angle. Do I have perspective? And I might use a more intense perspective. Modify perspective. If I put this number lower, it'll increase the severity of the perspective view, which I think will help get it all in the frame. There we go. I think we also have to fix the floor a little bit. I think it's going up a little bit. So let's edit scene. Okay, I'm getting most of my frames per second. Alright, there we go. Now it's nice and tight to the bottom of that geometry. I'm really stressing my computer, but you know, go big or go home, I guess. I think it looks pretty good. I like that. Maybe zoom in just a hair more. Actually, I do want to leave a little bit of margin, you know. And I think a setting I'm gonna have to do here. Number of refractions. Yeah, this needs to be maxed out, so that's already there. Final render. Because if your refractions isn't high enough, like, it'll pass through like glass only a couple times, and then the light won't come out again, which makes it appear black, which is not what we want. Let's see. Let's see. Can we find anything interesting here? Who coined the term Spaceship Earth? American inventor and environmentalist Buckminster Fuller coined the term Spaceship Earth as an analogy for the technology to be self-contained and to avoid waste. I think that's pretty insightful. It's true. All the waste we make on Earth, at least for now, and I hope it stays that way. I don't think anything will come good of just launching waste into space. My frame rate's stumbling a little bit. You'll have to excuse that. What was the United States' first national park? Which is apparently, the answer is the U.S. government authorized Yellowstone National Park on March 1st of 1872. So if you ever find yourself on Jeopardy and you want to rock all the science stuff, this is probably a pretty good book. Well, yeah, looks like we're pretty close to having our render be done. And I think that looks really good. We have a little bit of artifacting here, which is interesting. But it's not very noticeable. I might touch that up with paint.net a little bit. But overall, I really do like the colors. Name that too. Okay, so I think that's going to bring this stream to a close. So let's take one last look at what we generated, and we'll call it a day. Oops. So there's our first one. And there's our second one. So, if you've been following along all this time, I thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. If you like more of this content, feel free to like the video as well. You know, makes it do better in YouTube's analytics, helps grow our community, and puts more minds together, which I think is pretty cool. But with that, you guys have a good one, and I will see you on Saturday. See you guys. Take it easy.